know when you click continue so I can check what the delay is.
Yeah, I'm clicking when to go now.
Alright, we're live.
Alright, cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna start loading in because it's a really long loading section, but when time starts, I'll let you know.
Alright, let me know.
Okay, so this is Valley, and the runner is Spyman68.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Say hello. And I am Shiforni again. Hello, I'm just going to be here for the whole marathon. And this is TRS, the current world record holder for Valley.
Hello.
And this game is pretty awesome. You go really fast in a similar vein to Catalyst, except you go even faster. And the main way this kind of works is you're going to do this sort of reverse strafe. So you'll see his screen. He's going to be moving around in a lot of weird ways, but just trust that that's how he goes fast. He knows what he's doing.
Alright, time starting in a few seconds. And start.
Yep, and so the start part of the game is kind of just cutscene, walking stuff. But once you get to this like mega power suit, the game will really start to pick up.
Yeah, so right now it's just like walking and it's pretty slow, but after I get the suit, there's a whole bunch of jumping and weird fast stuff.
Yeah, and so this game's actually made by the people who made like Slender: The Arrival or whatever. Apparently I'm very quiet, but I'll try to talk louder. So the way this game works is you're like in a forest and you're in a valley, I guess, hence the name, and you're trying to bring back life to the valley. So you get this magical suit that can shoot life into trees and stuff like that. But instead of doing that, we're just gonna fly over the mountains because bringing back life to a valley takes way too long.
Yeah.
Are there any big parts, RTS or TRS, that you want to explain?
Well, since the world is so like open, like basically every single like upgrade you get, you just skip, and the game assumes that you're supposed to have them when you go to the next level. So you'll always just have the next upgrade in the next level. And also, like when it comes to like the story points as well, the things you're supposed to activate and stuff, the game thinks you're supposed to do it, so you've done it.
Spy, apparently they can't hear me at all.
What?
I don't know, apparently I'm like muted. No.
I don't know if they can hear me.
Yeah, they can. I'm looking at. People can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what to say about that, but
That's fine. I'll just hang out.
okay, TRS, you can explain like crabbing right now if you want.
Alright, so
Oh,
yeah,
no.
this is the reverse strafe. I don't know if you probably didn't hear Shaft talk about it, but yeah, it's when you like in midair, if you turn your camera 90 degrees and then pan it back while holding that direction on your arrow keys, you will accelerate. So this is basically how we gain speed in this game, and it's a very momentum-based game. So once you have speed, you can keep it and fly across the entire world, basically. So
Yeah.
we're pretty much always going to try to stay in
Right,
midair and then do the reverse strafe to gain speed.
So there I had to grab a checkpoint because without that, then you can't like give life to these trees, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It's, who cares? We're trying to go fast. And basically, you'll notice like sometimes when he needs to go really high, what he'll do is run downhill first and kind of curve around to get a lot more height. And essentially what he's doing there is he's just trying to build up speed, because when you're running uphill, you're going to go a lot slower, but when you're running downhill, you're going to go a lot faster. And that's going to be like their primary way of getting speed back. And once you have speed, like once you've gained a lot of speed from strafing, it's pretty easy to maintain as long as you don't like run into anything. Well, it's hard not to run into things, but the game definitely wants you to keep your momentum.
So here in the loading zone, you can actually keep your momentum from the previous level through to the next one. So hopefully you'll see that he'll just start running really fast immediately on landing in the next level.
Yeah, so I kept like all the speed I had from falling because I jumped at the very end there, so I start off really fast in the beginning.
Yeah, and basically this game does a bunch of things to it just lets you maintain speed, and it's really awesome actually.
So here he's gonna skip like a scripted death in the bridge by jumping over the mountain, which is like the first, well, not the first, but one of the first sequence breaks, I would say.
Yeah, and there's quite a few of these, you know, and they kind of follow the same formula of like get some speed by running downhill, then run uphill and air strafe to get over a big thing.
So yeah, and so in this level you're supposed to grab the double jump, because technically you're not supposed to be able to get to the final section of this level without a double jump, but because of the way speed and momentum works, you're able to make it across.
Yeah, so I can just strafe across that bridge instead of double jumping, which would be what you're supposed to do normally.
Yeah, and he just can keep his speed the whole time. You know, like the game doesn't really have a cap like a lot of other games do. So
The game also allows you to jump after walking off a ledge, which you can use to gain extra.
Oh yeah, that's pretty significant. Like there's quite a lot of time after leaving the ledge that you can jump.
And just to mention, like this is a pretty long casual game. It's like 3 hours or something. Like, and that's if you're going pretty fast. So, but you know, they finish this game in like about 20 minutes because they skip everything and they just go right to the end of each level.
Can they hear you now, Chef? Or
I think I'm loud enough, is what people
okay,
say, so
that's good.
I'm trying to talk louder. So
Yeah.
but
Alright, so now I'm gonna try to clip this elevator, which is not really hard, but
We've done this elevator clip for like 2 years, but we still can't find a consistent way to do it.
yeah, every time I watch like a stream of Valley, it's
I
just,
didn't
like,
get it.
up in the air.
Yeah.
So basically, I would fall through the floor and then just like strafe down. It would just save a few seconds.
So this is a very vertical level instead of like, it's about climbing instead of going really fast like horizontally. So it's a pretty technical level since you're not like relying on your speed to go to the end. You have to be pretty precise on when you do your double jumps and stuff like that, and how to gain as much speed as possible in the little slopes you can use.
Yeah, and there's actually quite a bit of variation in each of the levels. Like another one you'll see in a little while is much more indoors. So it's pretty cool how there's a lot of different stuff that's being tested. It's not like just run fast and do a bunch of strafe jumping or anything. There's a lot of, you know, different things that you're gonna have to do well.
There are also a couple of pretty difficult out of bounds that we're probably not going to see because it's really hard and barely saves times, but it's pretty cool.
There will be one pretty difficult out of bounds though.
Yeah.
And it saves quite a lot of time.
We have some donations, by the way, if you have time, Spy.
Oh yeah, you can read those now.
Okay, so we have $1 from Havard that says, "How much salt does a crab put on his food? Just a pinch."
Thanks for that.
Another dollar from Havard that says, "Where do crabs walk when they are on land? The sidewalk."
Wow.
And we have yet another dollar from Havard that says, what does a spyman and a crab have in common? They are both inconspicuous.
Thanks for those puns, Evan.
So, casually, this is probably like one of the longest levels, and also probably one of the most difficult levels to do fast. But, fortunately, the developers made a big error in the end trigger button, so we can just click that.
Yeah, they've
Yeah, you're
actually
supposed to
tried-
go like up and around, and it's pretty long and complicated, but you can just jump up and hit that button.
And they've tried multiple times to patch it, but they've never done a good enough job. So you can still press the button.
Yeah,
Thanks a
actually
lot.
though, we found an out of bounds that is faster in this level now. So even if they were to fix it, we have an alternative that's
Yeah,
faster.
it's pretty crazy though. Like I wasn't gonna go for that.
Yeah.
Developer backups. You always need a way to beat the developer from patching your game.
So here we'll grab the suit and then travel to the same place because it'll skip part of the elevator and bring me here. And if I was going by game time, I would do it like once again. That would just save like 1 or 2 seconds, but it's not faster RTA. So.
It might not even be faster RTA to actually do the first one either, depending on how slow your loads are.
Yeah, I think my loads are slow enough that it's worth it though.
Yeah.
Alright, so in this level there's a pretty big out of bounds if you want to talk about that.
Okay, so this is like one of the longest auto scroller levels in the game. You're on this rails for a long time, but there are several places here that you can go out of bounds. So we had a one that was a lot further back that we did earlier, that was or like a long time ago, that was like easier. But we recently found this one, which is gonna go for now, which is a lot more difficult. The annoying thing about this out of bounds is that once you reach the floor of the out of bounds, the game is like loading too much or something, so it just starts to lag. So if you're seeing lag, it's not your stream, it's just the game that can't handle being out of bounds here. So he's gonna land on the floor and just try to like crab his way to max speed. And when he reaches the like the circle at the end there where the reactor is supposed to be, he'll try to hit a surface and bounce off that surface to fly to the end trigger of the level, which is all the way at to the right there. So he's just going to be strafing here for a while, and hopefully he'll hit the thing.
I didn't get it, so I'll have to go for the backup.
Yeah, it's a really hard thing to do, and it's very annoying with the lag to like time your stuff, because if it lags at the wrong time, then you can't aim properly and stuff. But we recently found this backup, which is a pretty solid backup.
Yeah,
It's not very slow either.
The way you get out of bounds here is, you probably mentioned it, but you just get off of the regularly intended path and you just drop through some missing collision. Like the developers just forgot to put all of the collision there, so you can just get out of bounds easily. Anyone who plays the game, you know.
It's not even missing collision; it's just a hole. There's just like nothing there.
Yeah, it's just a hole into the void, and then you just drop down.
Yeah, there are like 2 little holes there, and you can take either of them, and they just bring you out of bounds.
It's pretty hilarious.
Okay, so one thing that I forgot to mention is that when in the previous level where you ran on the rails, that actually gave you a speed upgrade as well as when you got the magnet boots. So now your max speed has been upgraded to 50 from 30, which was the old one. So now you can fly even faster, which is a very important part of this level, because you're gonna have to do a pretty big jump in order to get to the end trigger, or the last house where the end trigger is.
Yeah. So there I used the curvature of the tube I was in to launch myself up on top of like that building, and then I just basically jumped across the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, it's the formula in this game is get some speed, do some strafes, jump across everything they want you to go to. It sounds like I'm like simplifying it, and I definitely am, but it's pretty cool.
That's
like,
pretty close to what it is.
Yeah, and it's awesome though because of how fast you go. You're flying across this huge valley, you know. It's definitely a fun thing to watch.
I'll have to do the backup here too.
And so, like I mentioned before, this is the game made by the people who made like the Slender Man game, and so this is also a very spooky game. There's some big spooky enemies you have to face. And actually, not really though, right? You just skip
I
to
mean,
the end.
okay, well there is one big like spooky boss that you would normally have to face, but we don't. We just skip him. So
Yeah, it's too spooky for us, basically. You know,
what am I doing?
even if it were faster to actually fight the boss, it's better to just skip him so you don't get spooked.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose your run to spooks, dude. Yeah, and some of this stuff can be pretty difficult. Like, these are pretty precise jumps. You know, the amount that you strafe can really affect how much speed you gain. And not only that, but like, the strafing in this game is so weird that it's hard to do correctly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I messed up the original, and then I messed up the backup, so I had to do a backup to the backup.
that's what speedrunning's all about, dude.
So like at this point in the game, you've taken a thing called the life seed out of the reactor, although we didn't actually do that, but the game thinks we've done it. So now your attacks are stronger because you have the life seed, but also the valley is now dying because that was the item that was keeping the valley alive, and now the facility that was taking power from the life seed is now taking power from the planet instead. So we have to destroy the facility in order to save the world because we screwed it, basically.
It's a pretty good
Ba-
summary.
Basically, you're a huge idiot, and you're just making everything go wrong. But it's okay because you can fly, so you're basically Superman. And
Flying makes it better.
Yeah. You know, it's like any good comic book story. You screw something up and then you go back and fix it. It's not a big deal.
So will Spyman have to do the walk of shame is the question.
Yes.
You want to explain what should be happening?
So basically, you can just like fly across this whole area if you're fast enough, but I'm not, so I have to walk on the ceiling,
Yeah.
which is the intended strat.
It's still pretty heroic to walk on a ceiling, I have to be honest. You're a superhero in my heart, Spy.
Oh, thanks.
So here's the like pretty annoying skip where there's like this pseudo invisible wall that will just kill your speed if you're not like taking the proper angle across the chasm here with the wind fine. And now you notice maybe at the third level that he landed in some rocks and broke them, but you don't actually need to break them by being high. You can just break them by having a lot of speed, so you can just run into them and they will break.
Yeah, I wasn't able to do that here, so I had to just like run up the stairs and run down. But
Yep, and we're getting very close to the end of the game, right?
pretty
it's
close,
second
yeah.
to last level.
So, if you haven't followed the story so far, shame on you. It's pretty obvious what's been going on.
Of course.
We fly over some mountains and steal a seed.
Yeah, but you didn't actually see us steal the seed, so
Yeah. Well, because we did it with our mind.
Yeah.
yeah. You just have to like assume that we stole the seed.
Are you gonna do the out of bounds here?
No.
Yeah, there's a faster out of bounds here. That's pretty difficult.
Yeah, you'd go over there.
Yeah, you just if you just went far enough to the right, there would just stop being collision, and you can just walk through everything. And if you have enough speed, you can fly to the end trigger. But it's not that marathon safe because the backup's really difficult. So instead, we're gonna do another sequence break where you're supposed to run around the entire world on like running on the water, but instead you can just fly through the window by jumping like this.
Yeah. Because, you know, they just leave things open for you and you just go in.
Uh-oh.
There's still a little out of bounds here also. They
It
just
is
left that
actually-
hole in the wall.
Once again, it is nice at least. Like, you might think these developers are lazy, but at least nothing breaks if you don't do it correctly. Like you can skip a lot of this stuff, and the game still lets you play. You know, if you skip the double jump, it gives it to you. So, especially for speedrunning, that's incredibly nice.
Yeah, I think that's like the most, like the biggest out of bounds hole that seems like way too obvious to be allowed there, but
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that should be there at all, but whatever.
have
okay,
to
so this is
imagine
the
it's
final
incredible.
level, and by far the longest level, but it's not because we don't care.
And this is where the spooky monster would be, somewhere in here. But
But we're gonna avoid him.
yeah.
We're actually spookier than him because we can just go out of bounds.
So the out of bounds story in this level is pretty cool. We've done a lot of different strats, and over the course of the speedrun, have found newer and faster ways to do it. But like the principle has always been the same: get to the spooky monster and skip him.
There's also a little out of bounds here, but it's kind of weird. And like, if I go out of bounds more than once, your eyeballs are gonna break. So,
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, even once they might break because it's still pretty like bright. So,
Also, there's a like previous patch of this game that as you got faster, the more speed you built up, the like more zoomed out your field of view got. So
Yeah.
when people would speedrun this game, it became basically unwatchable.
Yeah, the game did not have FOV at the first patches, but they added the FOV slider patch like 1.3 or something, 1.03 or something. But there was a huge glitch with it where like every time you accelerate or something, FOV would just keep on building, and
all right,
eventually.
I'm gonna be doing like a huge out of bounds skip here.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about it, go for it.
I mean, yeah, it's just a hole, and you jump out of bounds, and you skip the boss, and also at the same time, you just build speed and take this huge leap of faith into the void, and if you're fast enough,
There's no
you
way.
make it to the ground, and you can just run right to the end trigger. But it's pretty hard jumps, so you have to make sure that